This is the plaintiff, Kimberly Evans. She says she paid the defendant for some CPR certification classes because she wanted to become an instructor, and the guy failed her. She took it in stride because he offered to let her take the course a second time for free. But he doesn't return her calls, so she's suing for $513.03, the amount she paid for the course and a textbook. This is the defendant, Christopher. He says he didn't fail the plaintiff. He just told her she needed to work on her skills and coordination and offered to let her take the course again for free. She never rescheduled. He's gone out of his way for her and owes her nothing. He's accused of refusing a refund.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session, and the Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is not presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Evans, you are suing Mr. Christopher's company. You have authorization from the owner to be here to represent?
I do.
Because you paid them $513.03 to get you certified as a CPR instructor, and you're not. All right, so tell me what happened.
I initially reached out to what I say the Red Cross Association is where I found Mr. Christopher and his company. My goal was just to get certified as a CPR instructor. At that time, I did not have my
Was there a particular reason you were trying to be certified?
Actually, I had already been a CPR instructor before.
Instructor, not just to know CPR, but to be an instructor. Were you going to open a business, or what were you going to do?
Exactly. I was there to certify to not only become CPR certified as well as an instructor. I had been an instructor before, and I taught classes years ago, probably about 5 years ago, and I wanted
it's not that long ago.
I know.
I thought you were going to say 25, 30 years ago, and I'm thinking, how old was she when she... All right, so go...
No, I was in my 30s.
Okay, all right. So go on.
But I had wanted to, I was just really just trying to get back into the business again. It's something that I enjoy doing. So I went to the website, signed up for the classes. Took a little bit of getting there, but came to his class. And
when you say it took a little bit of getting there, what do you mean?
Because we did reschedule.
Whose idea was it to reschedule?
It was initially when we had first started. It was a blended course that we had to take. And then when it came for the classroom time, I had like dental surgery. I had a couple of things going on. And
how many times did you reschedule?
I probably rescheduled twice.
Okay, go on.
And he was nice enough to let me reschedule. So finally, March 19th came around, went into his course. I thought we had a good rapport. We talked about different things. I thought we related on a different areas.
Was it a private instruction?
It wasn't private. It was a class. It was a class.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I thought that everything was going well. And when it came for giving the CPR lesson on the dummy, that's where things got a little complicated.
What happened?
Oh, well, the CPR mannequin that he had, I remember that when the mouth went all the way up, it was not even in a normal position of where the mouth would be for you and I would be if, we were, out. So it was all the way up. But he made us aware that we had to turn it all the way up. We had to breathe into it, but it was just difficult breathing into that. And I was like, I just remember telling myself like, oh my God, I'm going to be out with the patient. We're going to both need a...
Were you getting winded?
I was getting so winded.
How about the other students? How were they doing?
Honestly, I didn't notice what the other students
How did the other students do?
They did well.
All right, so did you pass anybody that day?
Yes, ma'am. I passed.
Did you pass everybody except for her?
I did.
All right, so what happens when someone's not going to pass?
Well, early in the class, we go over basic fundamentals. She had a little bit of difficulties here and there, but she was trying, working really hard, so we worked together. I said, we're going to practice a lot today.
Did it look like she was teaching 5 years ago?
Possibly. But she was...
What a diplomat.
she had the heart. She was working hard at it, but there was a lot of things that we needed to kind of perfect, and we didn't have time to, we worked as much as we had time for, and then we were going to work on it all day long. And I told her, I said, we got to work on our skills, but we got some more practice time. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through it better this afternoon. And it didn't get better. And she was having a difficult time getting through the 2 minutes.
What exactly was the difficulty she was having?
With her CPR compressions, she was bouncing all over the chest. She was having trouble keeping the right pace.
Okay.
And one of the
Staying alive. I remember.
Yeah. And we were trying to get it going. She just couldn't keep the right pace, and then was having trouble with the depth of the compressions. And part of being an instructor is you have to be able to do it perfect to be able to teach.
And part of being an instructor, part of being the person who's going to save my life, you have to be able to do it right. What do you mean, instructor? I don't care about her business. I care that she's the only other person in the room who can save me.
That's a fact.
All right, so go on. Well, I mean, not in this room because you're here,
No,
but
in
a room, a random room. All right, so what is it the two of you agree that day?
Okay, I explained to her, I said, unfortunately, I wasn't going to be able to pass her, okay? But she was trying really hard. She was working at it. She wanted it. So I said, let's do this. We still had to go over some basic class.
Have you ever, actually said you failed and then said goodbye? And
I have twice in 5 years.
Okay,
But
so you try not to do that.
I try not to do that. I like people to
Be
learn
happy.
and be skilled.
Okay. So you told her she could come back, and then what happens? This is what day? What day was the instruction?
March 17th.
March 17th. Now, let me actually go to you, Ms. Evans. March 17th, everybody's on the same page. You're going to put a little more work into it, right? And you don't have a problem with that. But then what happens?
Didn't have a problem with it, took his criticism. I was actually happy that, I was like, it's lunchtime, I'm hungry, let me go. And I felt like, you know what? He knew I had mannequins at home on my own. I said, you know what? I will go work on it.
Right.
A couple of weeks go by, and, I reach out and say, hey, I'm ready to.
When was the first time you reached out?
I had reached out April 20th.
Is that the first time you reached out?
Because this was March.
Right. So the first time you reached out was April 20th?
That's what I'm showing here.
You didn't reach out before April 20th?
I said I text 420, still no response.
Is that what you say?
On my text, yeah.
Right, so you must have texted before that. You give me texts that start on a date that's cut off before April 20th, where he says, I'm working up my May calendar tomorrow, I'll forward you the dates. And you say, thank you.
Okay.
Then on April 20th, you say, so you must have reached him before April 20th.
If we're going back to the text, April 13th, I apologize.
Okay,
So
do you
13th.
have your phone with you here?
I do.
Are you looking at it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can I have it? Let me see when you actually start to reach him.
So that's what the
Because you
text is
sounded
there.
frustrated already, so you must have reached out before that. But
And you can just scroll. all the way
hello,
down
my
and
name
see.
is Kimberly. I am scheduled to attend your class 413. I need to reschedule. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't get it.
That's when the text started, but I got the
that's something
email.
that makes me go,
Oh, no.
Well,
yeah,
but
I've watched you long
it's
enough.
the only one that hurts you, and it's the only one you didn't send me.
No, I sent the emails as well.
If you
so.
watch me, then you know I was going to say, give me that phone. I need to reschedule. It conflicts with another class I'm taking. Also, I want to take the CPR training separately from the instructor training. I guess that's what you mean. So I make sure I'm doing it correctly. Do you have anything at the end of May? And he says, hi, Kimberly, I am working up my May calendar tomorrow. I'll forward you dates. You say thank you. And then on April 20th, you say good morning. Just checking to see if you made the schedule for May. And then on April 22nd, I have tried several times to reach out to be rescheduled for the CPR class and instructor course. I'm very disappointed. When I left your class that day, you assured me that I could return. I have emailed numerous times and called all members and gotten little to no response. At this point, I'm no longer... What happened between April 20th and April 22nd?
I believe there were some emails that were in between as well.
Hello, Kimberly, he says. I've been on vacation on a cruise. I'm sorry you did not receive the email I sent. So you sent her an email saying what? What the May schedule was?
Yes, ma'am.
I have just docked in Galveston. We have classes on May 2, 13, and June 1. Chris. And then he sends a copy of the email that he had sent you on what day?
The day I got back from, I don't have it.
I believe that's my email.
No,
Yeah.
it might be.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I
think
sent her an
that's
email
mine.
at that time. I sent her the class dates. And then
Well,
I didn't.
in your text, you say, I'm sorry you didn't get the email I sent. So you had sent
I'd sent an email in the end of April before I went on the cruise.
before you went on the cruise.
And
Do you have that email?
I
I did not get an email, sir.
don't think I brought it. Nope.
But in any event, let's assume there's no response. The first thing I have is your text saying, I'm scheduled for 4/13, but I can't make it. You're rescheduling a third time. And then you say on the 20th, you say, good morning, just checking to see if you made the schedule for May. I need 2 dates. And then on the 22nd, you just totally reverse course and say, give me my money back. And he's like, oh, sorry you didn't get my email, which he can't find now. Okay. But we have classes on May 2nd, 13, and 1. He tells you all that on April 23rd, not 22nd. On April 23rd, which is the day after you wig out. Why don't you just pick a date then? Why is it your demand? What did they do wrong? They took 3 days? You rescheduled 3 times. The guy was on vacation. It took a little more than 3 days because you had asked for it before. But you were the one who rescheduled on the 13th.
Honestly, I believe that what's not being shown is just the emails, because I emailed.
Show me the
I
emails.
started emailing between. Can I get the phone?
Yeah.
Actually, Your Honor, that was her 5th rescheduling, by the way.
5th?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember.
What were the 2 I missed?
March 17th was the 4th reschedule. April was the 5th reschedule, and she was looking for May, which would have been the 6th.
Okay.
So this is where I started on March 31st and April 5th. Those
Yeah.
two. Those are the 2 that are like in between that I.
Well, you got scheduled. March 31st, you got scheduled for April 13th, and you rescheduled.
And let me just reiterate, he didn't reach out to me even on the 13th to say. Initially, they would send me something saying, "Hey, and I can show
Yeah,
that
I
in
get
an
it.
email saying, "Hey, you're now coming to class." I didn't even get that on the 13th.
No, I get that. But what I have to determine is this a sufficient breach of contract on their part to not have returned your email in a prompt manner that would entitle you to get a refund after all the time they put into this?
Okay.
That would entitle you to get a refund. And a judge in my position is going to weigh the number of times they've accommodated you.
Okay.
Right?
I get it.
Yeah. I am not going to order them to return your money because I don't feel that they have done something so wrong that it would require that. Yes, somebody should have reached out to her when she sent the first email that she couldn't make it the 13th. Is this a one-man show? What's going on over there that nobody else is?
She was emailing my partner. After she failed my class, she quit pretty much corresponding other than a few texts here and there. All the emails
All right.
went
In any
to him.
event, based on the number of times they have accommodated you, I do not find that taking between April 20th and April 23rd to give you May dates after you rescheduled the week before constitutes a sufficient breach that would entitle you to get your money back. So I'm ruling in favor of the defendant in this case. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff fails to get the $513 she was seeking from the defendant in this case. Let's see what she has to say about it now. She's probably not too happy. Ms. Evans, tell me what you're thinking right now.
Well, I'm not happy that it went in the wrong way, but he was accommodating. I don't want to take from that. You know, I just wanted him to do the right thing and just be accommodated. That's all I really wanted out of it.
Well, let me ask you, have you given up on the idea of getting the the certification you wanted?
Of course not. You know, I'm still going to get my certification. Like I said, I really wanted to work with him and go through it, but, you know, I'll get it.
Well, sorry, but you canceled too many times, and that's why the judge found the way she did. So good luck to you.
No,
all right?
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's talk to Mr. Christopher now, or Christopher. I would imagine he feels kind of relieved. Christopher, what are you thinking?
I am relieved. I feel sorry for Kim with all she's gone through, but we did reschedule multiple times. I can only go so far.
In any event, congratulations. You're off the hook. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Good enough. Thank you so much. All right, Harvey. Interesting. What do you think?
So, Doug, this case does involve failing to respond to an email. I will just tell you this, that if you're in a legal dispute and somebody sends you some kind of a demand, you don't have an obligation to respond. But if you think it might end up in court and it looks like you're just blowing the other person off, that could hurt you before a judge.
Since it's hurricane season, how do you prepare your house when a hurricane is coming? Do you stay in the house? Have you ever been stuck in a hurricane?
Hurricanes come around almost every year or every other year down in Florida because we're right in that alley where they come up through the Caribbean. But the process for us in our household goes kind of like this. I'm sitting in my easy chair, you're at your desk working. You get up from the desk after reading about it or hearing about it, you go, John, there's a hurricane coming. And I maybe look up and I go, yeah, it'll probably miss us. It won't hit us. Don't worry about it. It'll turn north, right? And then a few minutes later, you come in and go, I really think you should bring all of the pots, all of the potted plants and the furniture off of the patio and off of the dock behind the house and start bringing it all in. And then I look up and I'll say, we'll get around to that. And then maybe a couple hours later, you come back in. And
John, it's heading right towards us.
It's bearing down on us. The trees are bent sideways.
It's a category 4.
The trees are bent sideways. Then I'll say something like, yeah, I got one of my best guys on that stuff out on the patio.
And then I start screaming, well, get a better guy, because the guy I'm looking at is still in his easy chair.
Right. By the time I go out there to start moving stuff, you have to like tie a rope around my waist and hold it from the patio door because the water's coming up. But we get it off there eventually.
We get it off at the last minute. We do get it off. We get it off before the winds begin,
Right.
usually, because I'm screaming at you at the top of my lungs. And we happen to be, our house happens to sit on the highest point of our city, even though we're on the water.
Florida's
Florida's
low anyway.
below sea level.
But
so
just
most
by
things,
luck,
by luck, for some reason, we're on this bluff where everybody else needs to come to our house, which has happened because even though we're on the water doesn't go, we're 14 feet above sea level, oddly.
So usually it's not even an evacuation zone.